Have you ever stopped doing something you love just because someone laughed at you? Sometimes the quietest dreams disappear not because they are weak, but because the world is too loud. Many years ago, in a small village near a wide and peaceful river, lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was gentle, hardworking, and she carried a quiet passion inside her heart. Every evening after finishing her daily chores, she walked to the riverbank with a small wooden box. Inside the box were simple paintbrushes and colors. While the village slowly faded into the orange light of sunset, Mira painted the sky, the water, and the silent trees. When she painted, her eyes shined like sunlight touching a calm river. For those few hours, she felt truly alive. But the people in the village did not see beauty in what she loved. They saw only something strange. As they walked past her, they whispered and laughed. "Can painting fill an empty stomach? Who would marry a girl who spends all day painting clouds?" At first, Mira tried to ignore them. She kept painting while their voices floated through the wind. But day after day, those voices slowly became heavier, like tiny stones falling into a quiet lake. Each word created a small ripple in her heart, until one day the ripples turned into a storm. Mira began to wonder if everyone else was right. Maybe her dream was foolish. Maybe she should become the person everyone expected her to be. So one evening she closed her wooden box, she placed the brushes inside, and she did not open it again. Days passed, then weeks. The villagers were satisfied because Mira finally looked like everyone else. But something inside her slowly faded. The light in her eyes grew dim. The smile on her face became rare. She was living, but she no longer felt alive. One afternoon, an old wandering sage arrived in the village. His hair was white like morning mist, and his eyes were calm. When Mira heard about him, she gathered the courage to visit. She told him about the laughter of the villagers. She told him about the dream she had buried, and she asked a simple question: "How can I live happily when everyone is judging me?" The old sage did not answer immediately. Instead, he pointed toward the tall trees near the river. Their branches were dancing softly in the wind. Then he asked her one quiet question: "Does the wind stop blowing when someone tells it to stop?" Mira looked at the moving leaves and slowly shook her head. The sage smiled gently. "The wind belongs to no one. It does not ask permission to move, and it does not worry about who likes it or who complains." Then he looked directly into her eyes. "You are like the wind, but you forgot who you are. You gave your freedom to the voices of others. You turned their opinions into a cage." Mira felt something inside her heart tremble. The sage continued, "People complain about Eve. They say the sun is too hot. They say the rain is too wet. But the sun still shines, and the rain still falls. If you try to please everyone, you will never truly live." Then he gave her one final thought: "Be the wind, not the dry leaf. The dry leaf moves wherever others push it, but the wind moves wherever its heart wishes to go." That night, Mira could not sleep. The words echoed quietly inside her mind. The next morning, before the village fully woke up, she walked back to the river. She opened the old wooden box. Inside were the same brushes waiting patiently. She picked one up. Her hand trembled for a moment. Then she began to paint again. People still walked by. Some still whispered, some still laughed. But this time, their voices no longer reached her heart, because the moment her brush touched the canvas, she felt the wind return inside her soul. Days turned into months, and slowly, something surprising happened. The same villagers who once laughed began to stop and watch. They saw peace in her paintings. They saw beauty in the quiet river she captured. Some even began to admire her work. But by then, something had already changed. Mira was no longer painting for their approval. She was painting because it was part of who she truly was. And that is one of the most powerful life lessons many people learn too late. The world will always have opinions. Some will praise you, some will doubt you. But if you build your life on their voices, you will slowly lose your own. Your dream is like the wind. It was never meant to ask permission. So ask yourself something honestly. Are you living like the wind, or like a dry leaf pushed by every voice around you? Sometimes the greatest courage in life is simply choosing to be yourself. And if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who may have forgotten their own wind.